Let's talk about nor'easter and the storms that continue to move across the northeast coast, leading to some major flooding and power outages. Streets on the Jersey Shore flooded earlier today, and the Coast Guard rescued someone in the ocean off of Cape Cod. There appear to be no weather-related deaths reported, which is good news, but obviously wreaking havoc and obviously on our North Carolina coast as well.
Yeah, that nor'easter, you got two lows. You got two parts of this, one over the Carolinas and one over parts of New Jersey. Now, the good news is moving offshore and all the impacts are really going away pretty quickly tonight. You can see that double-barreled low-pressure system that plagued us over the weekend. So that nor'easter continues to push east away from our coast. It's going to consolidate with that northern low and eventually move out completely into the Atlantic. Now, behind it, we've seen really warm air surge in for most of our area. Temperatures way above average. In fact, we're closer to our normal high right now than our normal low. So overnight, if we can get the skies to clear, I think we will see temperatures radiate down. Remember, the nighttime hours are longer than daytime, so it could take a while, but by sunrise, we'll be in the upper 50s. Still way above average, but certainly not too bad. Not as humid as last week when we had the low and mid 80s. So 81 tomorrow, very similar to today when we topped out at 81 with dry conditions. There's our double barrel low. Becomes one low pressure system as it continues to push out into the Atlantic. The flow behind it, much warmer, drier air. Secondary front will try to come through as we go into Friday. That's when we'll see the coolest morning of the week, likely back in the upper 40s, which will be closer to our average. It's also when we see the drier air filter, and you see that showing up in the dew point forecast. Bone dry air around here, and that means no rain either. We could desperately use the rainfall here in the Carolinas. Dry, dry, dry for the next 5 days, and you'll see almost zero chance of rain for everybody through Saturday. Now, Sunday, that might change a little bit with a few showers. It's also going to stay very warm. I'd love to tell you there's a big cold front coming with some chilly air. There isn't really. It's going to stay pretty much in the upper 70s most of this week, if not low 80s. Brief cool down early next week, but it looks like long range even temperatures are going to stay way above average. So no real cool down here in October. Remember, the average high is continuing to trend down. Our temperatures go in the opposite direction. So low 80s the next couple of days, upper 70s. We get close to average possibly by early next week, but still looking at some pretty mild air for this time of year. Out in the tropics, obviously this morning we had Tropical Storm Lorenzo form. Not a threat to us, going to do kind of a weird curve out here in the eastern Atlantic, farther away from us really than any storm we've had so far this season. In fact, this is closer to Africa than it is the United States, and that's the way it's going to stay. Now, we'll keep an eye on the tropics. We're not done until the end of November, but right now it looks like the next name would be Melissa if we see another system. As we get later into October, the threat begins to shift further and further south and east, and we see less of a threat here in the Carolinas. Your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast, a lot of sunshine and a lot of no rain on the forecast, at least through Saturday. Sunday, that's our best chance in the next 10 days. 50% chance of a few pop-up showers, but next week, warm as well. Mid to upper 70s likely in the middle of next week.